Hey everyone, Travis here. I'm going to show you how to build this layout in Webflow using the CMS Collection type and Flexbox display. So we can see here it's 3 columns on desktop. As we go down to a tablet, it drops to 2 columns, and then on a phone, it's 1 column. So let's jump over to a blank project and take a look at how to do this. I'm going to start off by adding a CMS collection. So we're going to go in here to create a collection. We'll start with a template of blog posts, and we're going to adjust a little bit of this. So I'm going to remove the color, remove featured, and for the post summary, I'm going to give it a minimum character count of 90, and a maximum character count of 140. So we'll save that. Go ahead and create this collection. We'll have Webflow generate 10 dummy items for us. Let's go back over to add elements. We're going to add a section and adding a container. Let's expand this. Let's name each of these so that we can style them. Let's give it some base styling. We'll just add 60 pixels of padding to the top and bottom to give ourselves some breathing room. And then for the container, we're going to make this a max width of 1200 pixels and 15 pixels of padding on the left and right. Okay, that looks good. The next thing we want to do is add our collection list in here. So I'm going to click on that. For the source, I'm going to select blog posts. For the layout, I'm going to keep this on a full width layout. We're going to code a Flexbox layout, or I'm sorry, we're going to build a Flexbox layout in this demo. So we're going to leave that just the way it is. We're going to go back over to show all settings. We want to paginate the items to 6 per page. And I think that's good for now. We're going to go back over to this container, expand out this whole tree. So I want to rename these. I don't want this to be collection list wrapper. We're going to rename everything for cards. That way we can use it across the project. So this will become a card list wrapper. This will become a card list. This will be a card item. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to add in an image. Drag that in. We're going to get this image from the blog post CMS. For the name, for the field, it's going to be thumbnail image. That looks good. Next thing we want to do is add a heading, H3, and we're going to get the text from the blog post. It's going to be the name of the post. Okay, cool there. The next thing we're going to do is start adjusting this layout to look more of the layout that we're going for. So we're going to click on the card list, give this a display of flex, and then we're going to turn the children to wrap because we want this to wrap multiple lines. So let's go back over to the card item, give this a max width of 31%. And then we're going to go back up to the card list. And because we want these a little bit of spacing in between each of these, we're going to do the justify to space between. Okay, looking good there. For the card item, let's give it some space on the bottom. We'll say 40 pixels, margin bottom. We're going to click on the heading here and add a paragraph. And then for the text of that paragraph, we're going to say get the text from the blog post. And that's going to be the post summary. Looks good. The next thing we want to do is we want to add one more text block in here, and this is going to be for the date. So this will be the created on date of the blog post. The format will be AUG22. Looks good. Okay. The next thing we want to do here is let's name everything. So we have card image. Then we have card heading. Card summary. And card date. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is, if we look back at our example here, we notice that we have this bottom part of the card that has like some space in between here. So let's go ahead and add that. To achieve that, we're going to go back over to our project, click on the card image. We're going to add a div block that'll put it underneath the image. And what we want to do is we want to drag in all of these elements into this div block. So the heading, the summary, and the card date. And let's give this div block a name, card bottom. Okay, so let's take the card bottom, and I'm going to hold shift and drag, and I'm going to give this 20 pixels of padding. And the next thing I want to do is I'm going to click on the card heading. This has a margin top. I'm going to remove that. And okay, so looking a little bit better here. If we look back at the example, we can see this has like a drop shadow behind it. So let's add that. So I'm noticing one thing here is that we want this whole area to be clickable as well. So I'm going to click on the card item and add a link block. So let's drag this right underneath the card item as the first child of the card item. Let's add the card bottom and the card image into that link block. So now this whole thing will be clickable. We can see that the link block gave us some styles that we don't really want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the link block. So the link block propagates its styles down. So if we click on this, we can edit all these styles at one time. So let's override these. We're going to make this a color of 31, 31, 31. And we're going to remove the text decoration underline. Okay, so that gets us back close to what we want. So as we're going to stay on the link block here, we're going to go down to box shadows. We're going to add one. For the distance, 1 pixel is fine. Blur is 10 pixels. And then a size of 1 pixel. And for the color, we're going to do 222, enter, and an alpha of 30. Okay, looking good there. The next thing we want to do is, I know that this was a little bit styled, so we're going to give this, the date, a weight of semi-bold 600, and we're going to change the color on it to 76, 76, 76. Okay, looking good here. The next thing that we want to do is we'll start to look at this on different screen sizes. So if we look at a tablet, we can see that this is 3 columns and we want this to actually be 2 on a tablet. So we're going to click on the card item here and we're going to give this a max width of 49%. That'll make it a 2-column layout on tablet. So that looks good. Next thing we want to do, let's take a look at it on mobile. On mobile landscape, this is probably okay. But then on a phone, or I'm sorry, on portrait mode, it's definitely too stacked here. So what we're going to do is stay on the card item. We're going to give this a max width of 100%. That'll put each card item on its own line. The next thing we want to do, let's tighten up the spacing a little bit on mobile. So staying on the card item, let's give this margin bottom of 15 pixels. And let's take down the type a little bit. Let's make this like 20 pixels. And the height of 1.3 dash. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. I think this actually needs a little bit more room at the bottom. I'm going to go back to the card item, give this 20 pixels of margin bottom. Okay, and that looks pretty good. So as you can see, we have 3 columns on desktop, 2 columns on a tablet, and then 1 column on a phone. So this is looking good. Yeah, so if you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see more Webflow tutorials, go ahead and check out my other videos. Thank you.